Hey, how's everybody doing out there? My name is Windell Rucker. Um, Here to do my writing presentation. I tried to do the video and upload everything as far as the Zoom and meeting and everything. I got it download, but it's just a little bit confusing. Maybe I missed a step or two. I followed the videos that you had posted, Professor, and I went back into the syllabus and everything. Um, I might have missed a step or two, but I got it uploaded and was trying to get my personal the meeting ID. But this is just something that have just to let you know that I tried and this wasn't a last minute thing. I was just trying to go at it for at least almost an hour, trying to get the video uploaded. I also did various messages online to try to alert everyone, as far as hey, I'm trying to get it uploaded and everything. So with that being said, I just did a YouTube video, and it'll have a link in the video, and you know, depending on if this is counts as credit, then so be. Right now, I'm going to be talking about the writing. Um, well, going to be talking about how adjectives and adverbs, how they affect the writing process. Um, why are adjectives and adverbs so important for the writing process? Um, Basic writing skills. If you learned the writing process throughout, middle school, high school, and various your college career, basics, adjective, adverbs. You learned that in basic grade school, which to now which is so important now. Because depending on if you're doing creative writing, and depending on mainly important far as like in your editing and revising. Um, so um, so today I'll be discussing first about adjectives and adverbs. So um, we're going to first talk about the writing process, because we have to discuss the writing process first, and then we'll get to why does adjective and adverbs affect the writing process. The writing process is a process that involves at least four distinct steps: pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing. It is known to be a recursive process. While you are revising, you might have to return to the pre-writing step to develop and expand your ideas. The number one thing I always learned when writing papers, or as far as the writing process go, and I'm pretty sure you heard this before. No piece of writing is never done. It's like um, considered as a painting, a piece of art. It can always be revised. It can always be edited. It can always be changed in any form, any way. So that's why some steps you may have to go back one, or you may have to go up two, but you're always it's not a recurring process for us, though. It's not just, oh, these are the set follow steps. No, because sometimes you can go from one to two to three to four. So pretty much it's the pre-writing, writing, responding, revising, the editing, and then the publishing and sharing. Pretty much at this point, this would be the publishing and sharing part, which is more so the end. Just putting the information out there on what's being done from the presentation. The writing process, pre-writing, is anything you do before you write a draft to write of your documents. It includes thinking, taking notes, talking to others, brainstorming, outlining, gathering information, interviewing people, researching in the library. Although the pre-writing is a first activity you engage in, it also occurs throughout the writing process. Drafting occurs when you put out ideas into sentence and sentence turn into paragraphs. And you basically, with drafting, you start to build a foundation for your paper or your presentation, explaining and supporting ideas, connecting your ideas, regardless of how much thinking and planning you do. The process of putting your ideas in words change them. Often, very words you select additional ideas and implications. Revising is the key to a effective document. Um, Here we are. How you think more about deeply about your readers and needs and expectations. The document becomes um, far as coming to a center. Um, Pretty much how much support will each idea need to convince your readers. Um, which ideas, which terms should you define these particular readers in your organization? Editing. Editing is pretty much checking the such grammars and mechanics. Far as like the last thing you should do before printing your document. Okay, so let's get into adjectives. Adjectives are the one part of English of speech, although historically they are classified together with with classified together um, traditionally to be adjectives, including this, my, etc., and are today. Using adjectives and adverbs correctly is easier than you might think. However, misuse has become common that most college students don't know the difference between a adjective sure and the adverb surely, or the adjective real and the adverb really. And I give you yep, right there. Okay. The origin of adjective comes from Latin and Greek. Um, it was traditionally adjectives were affected by gender and numbers in case. So basically, adjective and adverbs were words that describe other words. And it was the time frame was around late 14C, um, and then translated into Middle English, and 19C Britain. Other adjectives, such as abusive adjectives, um, which are part of noun phrases, headed by the noun they modify. For example, happy is an adjective, is an abusive adjective, and happy people. A predicative adjective or link, couple other mechanics to noun and pronouns, and the nominal adjectives act almost as nouns. What's an adverb? An adverb is a group of words that serves to modify a whole sentence and the subject another adverb. A organ adjective, for example, probability, easily, very, and happily respective in a sentence. They could probably be easily envy the very happy married couple. And adjectives comes from late Latin and Greek around 14C. And these are examples of adjective and adverbs. So we had an example of adjective and adverbs. And these are examples of how they affect the writing process. They affect the writing process as far as describing a noun, pronoun, and author, how you answer the questions. It's so important because when you're doing your pre-writing, or should I say your editing, just think about how you use words like Paul is working, or Paul is working hard, Paul is working carefully, Paul is working fast. Those adverbs definitely come in handy as far as like editing when you're doing your papers. Or prime example, she spoke yesterday, or she spoke here. When she spoke quickly, how. Okay, this is another example how adjective and adverbs affect the writing process. Complete the following sentence by adding the correct adjectives or adverbs from the list and provide it in the section. Identify the word as the adjective and adverbs. And you pretty much just figure out if it's an adjective or adverb and what else is being described. And these are the different adjectives. Being used to compare people to other things. And this is my quiz, my grammar quiz. Adjective and adverbs fall under the grammar category. As far as in editing, pretty much you get to see if, as far as your sentence and your paragraphs, pretty much figuring out what to use the right pronunciation or the right term. And this is a chart showing an easy way of how they're formatted, taking steps as far as the pre-writing part, or should I say in the editing. And my references, pretty much my sources and where my information come from. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Sorry for the technical difficulty, and thank you for all my classmates who participated in this video, and everyone, hope all is well and everyone enjoy the day. Thank you.